Alright, so this is how you remove the rear shock on a CB300. To get access to the rear shock, you actually have to take off the mud flap here. Those are 10 millimeter bolts. There's 4 of them. One right here, one behind your rear set, and 2 on the other side. So that's 4 of them. Another thing I also did was I actually took off the foot peg, right? The passenger foot peg. So now I have access here, and so now I have a space to get in here to unbolt the shock. You basically have to come from the bottom here. These 2 spots on this side. As you see, it's not very big. It's right. It's not very big. You could barely fit in a wrench right here. It's not very big. So I actually have to. If you look at my, I have to use all these different combinations of box wrenches, flare nut wrenches. So I actually have, it's basically a 17 millimeter on the nut side. The nut 17 and the bolt is 14. So I actually have to use like 3 different combinations of 17 and 14s. Each time I turned, basically my wrench was basically they were too long or too short, and I didn't have enough leverage. So I could basically have to like turn a few degrees, then I switched wrenches to turn a few more degrees, and so on and so forth. So once I got that out, so this was the hardest part right here. It was down in here. Once I got that out, it was pretty easy. The bottom, it's pretty easy. Basically, the bottom you're taking off with a shock fork is right here. The top side is an eyelet type, and the bottom side is a fork type. And that's easy to get to. Again, 17 on the nut side and 14 on the bolt side. And you can see, I used a jack, car jack here, and I basically jacked it up the. I jacked up the. You can see that I jacked it up where the frame is right here. This crossbar where the wishbone is part of the suspension is. So I jacked it up from there. So basically I loosened up the nuts, all the nuts first. Then once I loosened it up, then I jacked it up. Then once I took the nuts out, the bolt was obviously still in there, and with a certain amount of weight, the bolt didn't want to slide out. So what I had to do was I actually had to jack it up some more until there was a gap underneath the tire. Then from there I actually put my foot. I actually took my foot and I just basically kind of lifted up the tire like this to that I could have slack where the bolt here is. So there's no tension on it at all, no pressure. So I can just basically slide it in and out. So the top one was actually easy to slide. The bottom one was actually a little bit more difficult. As you can see, the bottom one, actually, it's right here. You see here, the bottom, what's in here, as it comes out, as the bolt comes out, it will actually hit this wishbone right here. It will hit this, because this bolt's pretty long, right? So it will hit this and it won't come out. So basically, I have to jack it up even higher so that it would, so the swing arm would actually drop down, and this would drop down a little bit more, so that I had enough clearance to pull my bolt out. Okay. So that's it for taking out the shock. Now obviously, once you have that off right there, you kind of play around with this a little bit, and you pull it out. So here's the shock. Here's the stock shock. Let me put this. Yeah, here's a stock shock. Oh, Stock shock. Here's my new shock. Right. So stock and new Öhlins. Let's look at it. So basically eye to eye, right? Mount to mount is the same. Right. The spring length. You look at it, the spring length. Let's see. Actually, this one is actually compressed. I compressed the Öhlins 5 millimeters already from full free length, and this here is actually also compressed as well. This thing is at the highest or the firmest preload. So they're both compressed, but anyways, you see the difference here. And this Öhlins actually has a rebound. So this knob here is the rebound knob. So that's basically the two. And one thing that you notice, I'm not sure if you guys could tell or not, the stock, this coil is actually thicker than the Öhlins. Supposedly this shock here is supposed to, supposedly it's supposed to, I think, I forgot what I saw it, but supposedly this thing is meant for a like a 130 pounder or 140 pound rider or something like that. So that's pretty light. My riding weight is about 160 fully geared up, and actually I had to use the highest preload for it to feel okay. When I was at factory, which was the second softest preload, it was really it felt really hard. So basically, what was happening was that the shock was actually bottoming out. So that's why it felt hard each time it bottomed. It felt hard, and as I increased the preload, it actually felt softer and smoother until basically I maxed it out. Then it felt pretty good, except for the dampening. The dampening sucks because it feels like a pogo stick. So with the Öhlins, this Öhlins, so you guys can see that. Anyways, this Öhlins here is meant for a 160 to 180 pound rider weight. So my riding weight is 160, fully geared up. And I prefer to be a little bit on the firm side and having the starting out at 160. I'll always leave the preload here at the minimum, and I hope I should be, theoretically I should be okay. But if not, I want to be firmer. I could adjust the preload some more and compress the spring a little bit more. But anyways, let me. Oh, this is pretty heavy too. Öhlins is definitely lighter for sure, noticeable. I should take my scale out and measure it. Wow, that's a big difference. Okay, let me stop the video now, and I'm gonna get my scale and do another video.